I'm sure that if we are talking to 27 European countries, then we made our proposal in the end of November. It was, I think, 25th of November last year. And of course, I could say that the main, this kind of goal is to have the deal between United Kingdom and the European Union. And of course, we are working with that forward. And I really hope that also Prime Minister May will find this balance inside the UK as well, because I think both sides understand it very well, that it is so important to have the deal and to have very good future relations between UK and 27 as well.
It does seem as though some leaders in Brussels don't want to give any more in terms of their talks with Prime Minister May, because they're still holding out hope that maybe there will be a second referendum, maybe the whole process will be reversed. Is that a dangerous gamble?
I think we have today so many maybes, but actually what we have today, we have very concrete proposal on the table by the 27 countries. And what is so important that last 2.5 years we are acting very strongly as a team, and we have only one negotiations between the EU and United Kingdom. If we are talking to give something more, I couldn't see any this kind of room today here to give something more. I understand that we have in the air the question, is it possible to have a little bit longer period? But it isn't the question today from EU's, European Union 27 countries side. It's the question the Parliament in London and also the government in London. But I actually really hope that we could find very good contract and deal both sides, because I don't see that this kind of situation what we have today, that we could say that it's good. It isn't good, actually. My personal opinion is that Brexit isn't good. It's much more better when 28 is staying together.
Economically, how bad could it be? Because we often hear that the economic toll will be so severe for the UK. But what about the European bloc? I mean, how concerned are you about the impact there?
It's a very important aspect and topic. We must protect our citizens, but at the same way, we must protect our businesses. And that is the reason why I said that we must find also very good and close and strategic relations between the UK and the EU after the Brexit as well.
On the security situation, too, that doesn't often seem to get as much as tension. But is that something you worry about, given how closely the UK has worked with the broader EU on issues of national security?
Now, if we are talking to security, first of all, the NATO, I think the majority of EU countries, we are under the NATO as well. For example, the UK troops are today in Estonia, and under the NATO we have enhanced forward presence, and it is all the 3 Baltic states plus Poland, and that is so important for us. And I don't see any this kind of problems if we are talking to security and defense, and that is very positive that we have so close relations in security field between UK and other countries.
On NATO, there is some renewed concerns, though, that President Trump may take tougher action, even talk about withdrawing again from NATO, especially now that some of his top generals have left the White House. Does that worry you?
We had last summer the NATO summit in Brussels, and after the summit, all 29 countries, they said, and also the United States, that NATO is now much more stronger, NATO is much more united, and NATO is much more closer. Of course, there is also the question about this 2%.
Right.
But, for example, our country, my country, Estonia, we promised what we said more than 10 years ago, and last 4 or 5 years we are investing more than 2%.
Was President Trump right to force the issue then?
I think that's the question, that all the members, they must be active and they must keep their promises. It's so important. But actually we see that all European countries are today increasing their defense expenditures.